Welcome back, everybody. Rage here. Today we're going to be taking a closer look at the new Tame hauling ship, the Pegasus. And we'll go ahead and take a quick look at some of the blueprints. Now, what I did here, I did spawn about 10 of each quality just to see what the range was for the sail points, for the modular points, and then I just took kind of like the middle of the road and threw them in the dock so we can get each one crafted up here. So taking a look here, we do have the common, which comes in around 50 modular points. Sail points is 5. The fine quality comes in around the same, 5 and 51. We have the journeyman, comes in around the exact same almost. We have a little bit higher modular points to 54. Again, this is just kind of an average. They can come in higher. The masterworks we have coming in around the same 54-ish points. Same sail points, 5. Legendary coming in a little bit higher. We have 60 modular points, 5 sail points again. And then the mythical we have coming in at 75 modular points, which definitely gives a little bit more room for customization as far as the side modules. And moving right along here, what I did was I did craft a common Pegasus ship, just kind of give you a show of what it looks like. Now you'll see that it does have these weird railings. They're actually called Tame cargo railings. So there's 3 on each side, total of 6. Each one can hold 5 Tames securely when going across grid lines or going through portals. Tames won't fall off, so that's always a plus when you don't lose shit. Moving on to the ship stats, it's pretty standard. If we take a look at the weight, you get 200 points per point investment. You get the same 8% for resistance, 4% for sturdiness, 4% for damage, 1 crew per point, and 1 extra bed per point. And always, for testing purposes, we did set the time of day to noon. We set the wind to maximum strength, and we did set this ship to windless so that there's no variables that we can't control here. So with the default sail configuration, again with the large and medium weight sails, go ahead and take a quick look and see how fast it goes. This is a completely empty ship. There are no Tames, there's no gold, there's no weight, there's no resources, nothing. This is just a bare bones Pegasus common ship. And just by looking at the knots here, best case scenario with the default sail configuration, absolutely 0 weight, we're going about 17 knots. So definitely am happy that it's not pulling like 45 knots like some of the other bullshit ships when they first released. Definitely falls in line with some of the other legacy ships and such. Alright, now we're going to move on to replacing those weight sails with speed sails. We got a large speed in the back, medium speed up front. Again, this is best case scenario, so save your hatred. But we can already see that we're going well over 20 knots. So we got about a 3 to 4 knot increase over using the weight sails, which speed is always good, especially when you're trying to run from people, transporting things. And for the last test that we're going to do, we replaced all the sails with handling sails. Again, best case scenario. You can see our knots climbing up past 15 now. So this one caps out at 15.5 in a perfect world. So it's actually slower than using weight sails that come with it by default. So, naturally being a Tame hauling ship, how does it handle? How fast does it go when it actually has Tames in it? Well, I'll tell you. And here you have it. Now we have a zoo. So we have 30 monkeys on here, 1 for each Tame slot in these pens. And we'll take a look at the weight. We're at about 989 pounds. We started with 237, absolutely bare, with just me on it, which means the 30 monkeys each weigh about 25 pounds. Now we'll go ahead and get them all loaded and check weight there. Also forgot to mention to load a Tame into the Tame racks. Just use the radial menu, load into Tame cargo railing, and poof. And back to a clean deck, all 30 monkeys loaded into the Tame pens, brings our total weight to 737 from 989, so it shaves about 252 pounds off of the ship's weight. Also worth mentioning, when you put the Tames into these Tame railings, if you notice the ship crew, it goes back to just the people that are on the deck. So technically, you could load another 29 Tames on this ship and carry twice as many Tames to your destination. And with 30 monkeys loaded into our Tame railings, we are going about 16.75 knots, which is not very much slower than when we had 0 Tames loaded at approximately 17 knots. So after doing the monkey test with weight, I decided to take some larger Tames, such as an elephant. So I went ahead and spawned 30 of them in and loaded them all into the racks. The elephant weighs 650 pounds on your deck, so in theory, 30 of them would weigh 19,763 pounds on the ship deck, including bare ship weight. And after loading them into the cargo racks, the ship weight is at 15,843. So the weight percentage with them fully loaded on the deck, in theory, the ship would have weighed 127%, which wouldn't move because it's over weight cap. But if you load them into the racks, the weight percentage drops down to 102%, which still is over the weight cap, and you still can't move with a bare bones ship at level 1. So if you're planning on taking 30 elephants, loading them up, and sailing a fresh cargo ship to claim it to somebody, you're not going to get very far. So we did have a community question. Someone had asked if I wanted to sell multiple Tames at once along with the ship. If I just unclaim the ship with the Tames in the cargo racks, would all the Tames ownerships transfer with the ship? I did test, and the answer is yes. If you unclaim the ship with Tames in your racks, then let the buyer claim the ship. Every one of those Tames will be transferred to the new owner and the buyer. And there was another community question. Somebody had asked, well, if you lose your ship and it goes down and you have all your Tames in your cargo racks, can you go down and recover them? There's only one way to find out. So, long story short, the answer is no. I went around for about 5 minutes trying to get those Tames out of the cargo rack, demolishing everything. Them Tames is dead. So, before I was able to finish my testing on some of the other things, I got a bunch of questions about different sail configurations. So, we have a legendary shell here that can take up to 6 sail points. So, this is dual large mast handling sails. Each with 125% acceleration, which is cap, and you can see that it does go a little bit faster. It's going about 20.2 knots. If we take those 2 large sails and switch them out for 3 125 acceleration medium handlings, it does up our speed by about 3 knots. We're capping out here about 23.3, 23.4 knots. Swapping over for 2 large speed sails, we cap out at 21.8. And moving over to 3 medium speed sails from 2 large speed sails, it does up our speed to 23.3, 23.4-ish. And just for testing purposes, I thought it would be funny to see what 2 large weight sails would do, and I'm sure glad I did because you go above 3 knots. Which naturally spawned the idea, well, what if I remove the larges and put mediums on there? Well, if you take, these are 2 common medium weight sails, 100%. It goes 23.4 knots. So, given that we have a legendary ship, we're going to go ahead and put a 3rd weight sail on there and see what we get. Wouldn't you know it, adding a 3rd weight sail pretty much adds 0 speed whatsoever. It pretty much just gives you a buffer in case your sail canvas gets blown out. Caps out at 23.5. And we're going to go ahead and kind of wrap things up here. This video has gone a little bit longer than I expected it to, but appreciate you sticking around for the information. Too long didn't read version. Basically, the best sail setup at the current moment is 2 or 3 medium weight sails, which strange, but that's the way it currently is. You can add 30 Tames to your cargo racks. At this time, I have not found any way to craft more Tame cargo racks to kind of extend how many Tames you can haul. It could be released in the future. as of right now, 30 Tames is the max. And again, thanks for sticking around for the information. I hope it helps somebody out. Hope saves somebody some time. And till next time, catch you guys later.